welcome back to the Stitching Tendencies podcast. My name is May, also known as 3 Stitches Short on Instagram and Ravelry. Today is the wee hours of September the 3rd, Saturday. I am coming to you from Northeast Ohio, where I live with my husband, our 2 girls, and our mini zoo. Lots been going on. So this is actually my second time trying to record this. I started recording yesterday and I had a bit of a medical emergency. I'm okay. Everybody's okay. But that, and when I say yesterday, I meant the first. I did sit down on the first and record. And then the second, it was around 10 p.m. The issue progressed to the fact I'm okay, I need to go get care. So I went and got care, kind of. American healthcare is a joke. But then I got home in the morning and I slept. My husband let me sleep and that was so nice of him. And then I got up, I did a few things, I figured some things out for the household, and then I went back to sleep. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm I don't feel well. I still don't, this is still not okay. I'm gonna go upstairs and rest. And my husband thankfully was yeah, no problem, sure, absolutely. So yeah. If I seem like I'm doubting whether or not I've said this before, it's because this is not the first time I'm recording this episode, okay? So bear with me, guys. I am feeling better. I'm just a little mentally foggy in what I'm doing currently. Yay, autoimmune issues. Alright, so today is technically September 3rd. It's about 2 a.m. Because I woke up from my afternoon nap at midnight. Let's go ahead and get going. When last we met, it was August 1st. I was getting ready for my birthday. I had some pretty ambitious goals for the month. I planned our family's Disney trip, and we went to Disney. It was a good month. It was a great month. I had a lot of fun in August. And then we got home on the 27th, and I went straight into preparing for the next month because I felt so unaccomplished for August. So, that's pretty much what I did all month. I planned for Disney, and then I went to Disney. I celebrated my 30th birthday on August 19th. We celebrated my daughter's 4th birthday on August 27th, and then we celebrated my husband's 36th birthday on August 30th. I also celebrated some nieces and nephews who turned different ages. My sister-in-law also had a birthday. August is busy, and then in a couple years we'll be adding the whole back to school rigmarole to it, so I'm really excited. Yeah, not much really happened in August. I did record an episode on August 15th that shall hereby be known as the lost episode. So I recently got an iPad so that I could have certain softwares in order to do certain things for the business. There were certain softwares I felt I needed, so I needed to get an iPad for that. Great, cool, I got it. And then I kept hearing other people about how they record on their iPad and do the iMovie and edit everything and do it all from their iPad. I'm like, oh, that sounds so awesome, I'm gonna try that. It's not for me, which makes me happy because I already bought an editing software. So I would have been really mad. I'm like, if I only needed the iPad. But it was a little more, it was a bit more work trying to edit strictly from an iPad where I don't have a mouse and keyboard. I'm not the most technologically inclined, so pointing and clicking and stuff, it's just not really for me. So I am back to recording on my Samsung tablet, and I will move it to my computer, edit it there, and then upload it to the YouTubes. That's how it works well for me. And no hate to anybody who does love the iPad. Maybe if you want to teach me how to do it, that might be pretty awesome. Alright, so let's start with the shop. I got my license. Yay! I got some things photographed, albeit not very well. I'm looking for a photography learning tutorial class, course, whatever I can find to learn how to take some better pictures. I did get some lighting. Woohoo! So you'll notice that the lighting is much better. I record at night because that's when the monsters are sleeping. And that's when I have some time to myself. So I don't have the luxury of natural lighting like many other podcasters do. And that's fine. I can adapt. I've always been the vampire of the family, so it makes sense that this would be my creme de la crop time anyway. So I got some lighting. The color payout in return, like, that's pretty spot on. I am so happy about that. So I got my license, I got some lighting, I got some photos, I updated and have things online. Yay! So yeah, I have got some new I got some new dyes and some new bases on the way. We're in my shop currently are a few things, a couple made to order bags, and I will show those here today. And then I've got a couple skeins of wool that are already dyed, ready to go. And then I've got some stitch markers. I'm gonna cheat because I have no working memory right now, and I'm so sorry. So 3stitchesshort.com. Why am I not pulling up? Okay. Alright, so I've got I've got 6 skeins of wool in there. 4 of them are tonals, 2 of them are variegated. I've got 2 designs for bags. They are just such cute little simple sock sacks, and I love them. I've got a pattern that I wrote a minute ago, and I've got some stitch markers. That is what I have currently. There will be another update. I am aiming for the 10th. Yes. I am aiming to have another shop update on the 10th. And in that shop update, I will have mostly accessories and bags. And if my wool gets here and I've gotten to dye some stuff, there might be some wool in there. I don't know. As far as wool that will be coming, I currently have my Logan base, which is 75/25 superwash merino 4-ply. I am also going to have a Logan. I'm naming my bases after my kids. So my firstborn was Logan, and that is the base. That is like my staple base, my go-to. I love making socks out of this. That is Logan. And then I'm playing with a couple other variations of merino nylon blends. I have a 75/25 2-ply, I have an 80/20, and I have an 85/15. All three of those are going to have some variation of Logan's name in his memory. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. It might be a mixture of his middle names as well. I don't know. But that's what to expect there. Then I have my Lilith bases. Lilith is my currently 4-year-old who is addicted to wool almost as much as I am. I'll take her to the wool shop and be like, should I get this or this? And she goes, both. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll tell your father it was your idea. That's fine. Lilith loves sparkle wool. And so the Lilith base, I'm going to have two. There's going to be Lilith and then Lilith DK. And that is going to be I think it's 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. It's the same base. It's just one is fingering and one is DK. And then we're going to have Leo and Leo DK. And Leo would be turning 3 this year. And so Leo is going to be an 80-10-10 MCN base. And all my wools are mulesing free. I think, did I say that right? Mulesing, M-U-L-E-S-I-N-G, mulesing. I definitely would never source something problematic like that. So everything is mulesing free. Currently, Lucinda has 4 bases that she might get. There'll be like Lucinda, Lulu, Lucy. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do, but they're more of the luxurious things, and those are going to specifically be dyed to order because they are quite costly, and it doesn't, in my opinion, make sense to me to have dyed wool sitting on bases that people may not appreciate and may not want to buy, when I could leave that wool ready and then dye it to order as people want those wools. One is a 70% superwash merino, 20% silk, 10% nylon. One of them is a 50-50 merino silk, and then the other is a merino, I think it's an 80-10-10 merino silk cashmere. Either way, they're super luxurious, and we chose to do the luxury bases in honor of Lucinda because she is my little princess. She is the chillest baby. She is the kindest, happiest, sweetest baby ever. But she's a bit of a princess. And and it's adorable. So she is going to be the name bearer of the super luxurious brand bases. So those are the bases you have to be looking forward to. And we are going to do 4 series. How these series are going to come to fruition, I'm not sure. But they are going to be Little Mermaid themed. They are going to be 100 Acre Wood themed, Twilight themed, and Star Trek. Those are the 4 that I'm going to start with. Yeah, so keep that in mind. And as I get them dyed up and have some previews available, you'll be able to see those. Okay, I think that's it for shop news. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. All right, let's get into the knitting content. Okay, what I'm wearing, I love it. This is my Rhinebeck sweater for this year. Obviously, it is the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I'm gonna get up for a second. Hold on. I have to be careful not to hit my head. So it is perfect. I love it. So the modifications I did from the pattern is my sleeves are not quite so long as the pattern calls for. I tend to roll my sleeves up anyways, and I just didn't want to waste the wool for something that's gonna sit like this anyway. I might as well just, oh look, another bruise. I thought it would be best to just knit it to the length I would wear it anyway, rather than knit extra and then push it all up, and yeah. Other thing is that I knit it like perfectly even around. I did not do the short row shaping. And that's just because short rows still kind of scare me. If I did it again, I probably would take the time to figure out the short rows. But I love it how it is. It's perfect. I love the lace. It blocked out so nice. It's so pretty. So a couple things. I'm definitely knitting 2 more. I'm gonna knit a 1-year size and a 4-year size for my girls for Yule. And then I'm probably gonna knit myself at least 1 more. I think I really want like a neutral color, like a gray. But I want like a full length sweater that I can wear with like jeans and stuff. I purposely knit this one exactly as it is because I wear these empire waist dresses, and I needed something that wouldn't like hug the skirt the wrong way. So I love it. It's perfect. It's meant for Rhinebeck. I wore it all day on the 1st because I'm like, I don't care if it's 80 degrees outside. September is sweater weather. I don't care. Thankfully I stay inside most of the time anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. But I was so happy to finally be able to wear this. It's so nice. I did it on the called for needles. I did all of the yoke and everything to pattern. There were a couple of oopsie daisies along the way because it was my first time doing a yoke, let alone a lace yoke. So yeah. I think that's all the information on this. I did the size. Let me get the size for you. I did the large. I did the large, which is a 48.5 inch bust, which is about 3.5 inches of positive ease for me. I definitely don't like things too oversized, and I think the pattern calls for 6 inches of positive ease. I 'cause it says between 4 to 12 inches of positive ease is what the pattern calls for. Mine is about 3.5 inches of positive ease as it currently is. So yeah, other than that, it is fantastic. I love it. Let's move on to finished objects. And guys, it's a short little episode on this one. I did find this. This is a finished a minute ago. I found this while I was cleaning out one of my closets. This is my first hat that I've like ever done. This is probably about 5 or 6 years old. The ends are like sticking out. This is like a horrible hot mess, but I'm keeping it because it just goes to show how far people grow and come, and I love that. The wool is just some extra wool that my mother-in-law had. I was pretty new to crochet when I moved in with her all those years ago, when I moved to Ohio. And so I mean, it fits, it's cute, I like it, and Lilith found it and she loves it. So I just wanted to share this because this will always hold a special place in my heart. It's the first hat I ever did. Like, that's a huge accomplishment, and it's a really cute hat. I think it was a Lion brand something. Obviously it's bulky, and it's just simple double crochets, and then I think I did 1 round of single crochet at the color changes. And then down here I did like single crochet, and this looks like a half double crochet for the brim. I can't believe I found this. So, nostalgia. Alright, on to the actual finished objects. For this, guys, I finished a muscle burra. Another one, because I am the muscle burra queen apparently. This is an adult medium. It's a trap by Lolo Did It from her Star Wars monthly club. It was a 4-month club. It just ended. You will see months 3 and 4 in a little bit. But this is such a good color. Look at that. Like, I love it. This is going to be a Yule gift this year. I love it. I love this. This is literally one of my favorite hat patterns, especially during the work week, because I can take one of my days off, spend about an hour, get the increases all done and ready to go, and then when I sit down at work, I can literally just knit while I'm on the phones, while I'm reading emails, whatever it is I want to do. I can just knit, and it's beautiful. This was folded the other way. There's never really an inside outside whatever. It's reversible, but once you've let it sit for a minute one way, there's like a seam in the wool, and then I don't want to mess with that. So I just fold it the same way every time. I knit the adult medium. I don't know if I already said that. I used 3.5 millimeter needles. And I love it. I can't wait to get all 4 of these done. 3 of them are Yule gifts, and the 4th one is mine. I will be selfish. I have the right to be selfish with my knits, because nobody appreciates it as much as I do. Alright. The other thing I have finished, technically, is a swatch. There was a thought that I had in my little noggin of, I really love Stephen West, but sometimes they take so long to work up because knitting, it takes so long to work up. So I started translating something into crochet. This was just a swatch I did to try to work out the counts, and I absolutely love this. This is so cute. This was actually a translation of the Painting Honeycombs shawl, but it came out looking a little bit more like the Painting Bricks. I'm going to play more and make it more honeycomb shape. But guys, look how cute that is. That's getting a little blown out from that light. It is a very nice soft pink. Oh, and I love this because it's reversible. I love this. It's so cute. I might make a blanket in this pattern. I don't know, but I think that would be really cute. Okay, so that is it for past finishes, current finishes, my little maze crazy swatches. I have one, thank you, notes. So I have to post a picture because this was a finished object that was made and gifted already. It's gone. This is a Zelda Triforce headband that I made for a friend's child who just turned 8. Here's a picture of it. I will input here. And I also got this picture from the mom. Mom and child both gave permission for me to share this with you. She loves this headband, ear warmer, whatever you want to call it, so much. And it's just so amazing. So the child just turned 8. She had a Zelda themed birthday party. And I'm like, wow, I can work with that. And I was going to do, I'm so itchy, sorry. I was going to do green and blue as the like colors, and then do the Triforce symbol and the gold color, but I did not have any gold wool, so I just did it this way, and I think it still is very accurate in the representation, and I think it's just cute and adorable. I completely winged this. I am not a color work artist. Oh my god, okay, you know what, I can't talk about it without seeing it, so let me pull it up real quick. No, not there, there. Okay, so this is it. I will put pictures in still, that's fine. So I was gonna do the Triforce symbol in like a gold color, but I didn't have a gold color, so that's fine. And I am by no means a color work artist. I am very rudimentary in my color work, so I did the best I could. I used I think it was the Barley Hat numbers for a small adult. And I went from there. What I should have done is done some decreases after to re-tuck that in. But it's fine. It's fine. It fits. She loves it. I used the adult small based on the measurement Mom gave me. Mom gave me a measurement of like 21¼ inches for her head, and I used that to base what size I would do. Very happy that it fits. Yeah. I may or may not write that up as an actual pattern. I might play with it a little bit more. I might make it into an actual hat for my husband. I don't know what I want to do. But, yeah. Alright, now 2 more finished objects. One I will be putting into with a picture. The other I have right here with me. And I'm already using it. So it's a little wrinkly. This is my sock sack, ball sack, whatever we want to call it. This is one of my bags that is available for purchase in my shop. It's a spooky sock bag. I love it. So pretty. So these are made to order. They're in my shop. Look at that. I love it. It is approximately like 9 inches by 7 inches with about a 3-inch box bottom. It is perfect for one single skein project or 2 half skeins, sock, hat, mittens, all those like smaller projects. I actually made 4 of these. You might have seen them already. Needles at the... No, not that. They're getting a different something. We Share Needles. That's the one. Kristen and Maddie each got a bag. I think Kristen chose the spooky bag and Maddie got the sunflower bag. I sent a spooky bag also to... I'm telling you guys, my working memory is absolutely shot. Nancy Ulf, Trilogy Yarns, and Lisa, 72 Stitches. They all got... They both got the spooky bags. Kristen got a spooky bag and Maddie got a sunflower bag. When you see me do this, this is a visual cue to myself when I'm editing that this is where I need to insert a picture. It's just a thing for me. Ignore it. It's fine. It's fine. We all have our cues. So the sunflower bag is exactly the same in size and construction. But when I went shopping for the fabric, Lilith is like... I went shopping for the black contrast fabric so I could make the spooky bags. The spooky bags, that fabric is a few years old. It's been in my stash for a minute, and I would buy fabric and have no intent on what I would do with it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull some of those older fabrics out. I'm gonna make them and we'll go from there. But I needed contrast fabric because back when I knew nothing about anything and I was buying fabric just to have the pretty fabric, I'm like, oh, I'll just get the cheapest solid fabric I can get. Yeah. I don't use that anymore. In fact, after the first time I tried to use it, I didn't use it again. I accidentally bought something that was not 100% cotton, and some of it, like, it would melt under my iron because it wasn't cotton. It was a cheap solid fabric. That's great. And if you're doing things where it doesn't matter what you use, that's great. But for what I do and what I want and what I need cotton. I need 100% cotton. So that became some fabric for Lilith to play with. And I went and got new fabric. While I was shopping for that fabric, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. while I was shopping for the contrast fabric to make the spooky bags, Lilith saw the sunflower fabric and was just like, ooh, mama. Yeah. And so she picked that out. I'm like, okay, so we have to get a second color for it. And I showed her a couple different browns and I think one green. And she's like, no, this one. So if you like the sunflower bag, that is 100% a Lilith May design. And yeah, she's pretty awesome already. I can't wait for her to start knitting. So I actually have made 4 of the sunflower bags as well. I have 2 sunflower bags ready to ship, and then everything else would be made to order if it's listed there. All right, let's go ahead and get into my whips. Okay, let's start here. Living in a Knit for Brains bag. In fact, all but 2 of these are living in Knit for Brains bags. So no surprise, I have an obsession and a problem. So living in this Harry Potter Knit for Brain bag. This is the 3rd month of the Lolo Did It Star Wars Club. Like my little ball sacks. I love these. Wool condoms are like the best thing I've ever done. I don't know why it took me like 5 years to get on board with this. This is so unique and awesome and amazing. I'll just roll the condom down a bit. Okay, look at that color. And that is pretty accurate. This new lighting I got is so on point. That's a pretty accurate color representation. It is a navy-ish blue tonal with specks of like different colors in here. There's like a little bit of like a green speck like right there, and then there's like some other tones. It's hard to make out what it is exactly. I'm really excited to like actually knit this up. And this is, surprise, another muscle bra. This one is for my husband. He absolutely loves it. Did I say the color already? The colorway is called That's No Moon, which is another quote from Star Wars. It's when they're coming upon the Death Star, and they're like, some sort of moon. That's no moon. Look at this. Oh, so perfect. I love it. So I cast this on like August the 1st. I got my increases done. And I'm like, okay, I'll set it aside. I'll work on it when we get to Disney. Guys, I failed this month so hard. I had wound up and gotten 6 skeins of wool ready for Disney, and I didn't knit pretty much anything. I'll show you what I did at Disney on my next whip. I'm so disappointed in myself, but I mean, we were having fun. We were active, we were having fun. I was engaged, we were making memories. It's great. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, how is that all I knit? And then when you see what I've done since I got home, you'll be like, how is that all you got done there? So, all right, this one is on my standard 3.5 millimeter needle. This is a Chalgu. It's technically blue lace, but it's the same like as the red lace. I don't know why they made this one blue, but it's so pretty. And I am going to get this. This is like I've got 2 hats that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish these up really quick. And then this is the one I'm gonna work on. I'll probably work on this next week while I'm at work. Because again, it's at the point, it's vanilla knitting. I can literally just knit, 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 knit in the round. It's beautiful. Okay. WIP number 2. Also a Knit for Brains bag. I love this. This is perfect for the beginning of the autumn season. And yeah, autumn. It started July 15th. I don't know if you know this, but the Council of Spooky Bitches met on July 1st, and we decreed that fall started in July 15th. I did hold out. I started decorating the house around August 1st, but July 15th is when fall started this year. That's why you were able to get pumpkin spice creamer in your local grocery store July 15th. We made that happen for you, so you're welcome. So this is what I am affectionately calling Sparkleburra. This is on a really pretty sparkle. Can you see the sparkle? Oh, there it was. Okay, well, it's a sparkle base. You can kind of see it sometimes. I love it. This is Wish Upon a Starfish by Supernova Dye Works. And it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, 438 yards per 100 grams. I got this at the wool festival thingy back in February, right before I delivered Lucy. I was waddling around that little fairgrounds, and they're like, "Do you need to sit down? Are you okay?" And then she'd kick, and I'd like keel over, and they're like, "Oh my god!" It was so funny. So, word of the wise, if you know your body and know that you are absolutely not going to go into labor, but you really want to have some fun with people, when you're like 9-ish months pregnant, I was like 8.5 months pregnant, they delivered Lucy to calculation at 37 weeks, but because the healthcare in America does not listen to women, when you say, "I have a 35-day cycle, I know when I conceived, this should be my due date," they say, "It's fine." Lucy was actually born around 35-ish, 35 and a half-ish weeks. Thankfully, she is healthy and everything is great. So I was about only 8.5 months pregnant at the time. But it was really funny because it was my 5th pregnancy, and I was huge. Oh my god, I was huge. And so I looked probably 9.5, 10 months pregnant. And so anytime she kicked real hard and got my rib, and I'd be like, "Oh," and people were like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Are you in labor? Do you need help?" I'm like, no, I'm fine. They're like, really? Okay. But it was really, really fun. My mother-in-law took me, partially because she's interested in fiber. My mother-in-law crochets, big, bulky, and I thought she would appreciate it. I thought maybe she would be interested. But she only crochets, and she only crochets blankets. So the amount of wool she needs to make an item, fancy fiber is just a little too cost prohibitive for her. And I totally get that. I would never make a blanket like she makes with fancy fiber. Garments, socks, hats, that's a different story. But she took me. I think she secretly just wanted to, keep me in check. I'm like, that's gonna help. But anyway, this is one of the wools that I got. And, where's my stitch markers? I took them off already. Okay, that's fine. I took them off because I already moved up my marker from when I was, like, recording the other day Damn. Okay, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You can still see. So here is where the end of the, yeah, here's where the end of the increases is. I got about this much done. The entire trip is about 5 inches that I got done. I worked on it. It's about a 2-hour plane ride. I worked on it about an hour on the plane each way, and then about 2 1-hour sessions. One night we were hanging out at the pool, and while the kids played, I knit a bit. And then one day we were waiting on Friday. On Friday we were waiting for us to be allowed into the park for the not so spooky Halloween party. And with that, I had like an hour to kill, so I knit another inch. And that's literally the only knitting I did the entire time we were there. And then we got home on Saturday, and from Saturday through Monday, I did like all of this. It got to the point while I was working Monday, I'm like, okay, I'm at the decreases. I did the first round of decrease so that I would not start accidentally like continue knitting or anything. And I'm like, I will do the rest of that in a little bit. Now this one, something I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what gauge I like best. And even though this hat is not going to be for me, the person it's for isn't going to know the difference. So I did this one on a 3.25 millimeter needle, just one little size smaller. I just want to see what the difference is going to be in fits, in gauge, and how it wears. So I did it on a slightly smaller needle, and we will see how that goes. Alright. Now the next one is living in this gorgeous Knick Knack Knits bag. Look how cute that is. I love it. And this is my painting honeycombs. Okay, so here's the back. And guys, look how awesome that is. Like, that could totally be a whole nother pattern. It's just so lovely. And what I'm doing, I'm showing you this side so you can see everything, is the pattern that I'm doing for colorways. As I started down here. Okay, so I started here with this like aqualish blue, and it goes to this green, and there's 31 colors all the way up. And then that's 31. This like that mauvey gray, that mauvey purpley gray, that's color 31. And so now I'm going, where did it go? Here. I'm going 31. I did one thing of 31, and then I went 30, and I'm going all the way back down to number 1. So there's going to be a total of 61 stripes in this. I've got 12 stripes left. Ta-da! Oh, I didn't move the marker this time yet. Okay, so look, I did 3 stripes. I did 3. I love it. This color, oh my god, does this not remind you of the yellow shirts in Star Trek? I love that yellow. Okay, so this is how it's going. It's gonna be huge. I love it. This is gonna be so nice, especially when it's all blocked and stretched and everything. I love it. It's so beautiful. The gray is Coal Miner's Daughter by Lolo Did It on the Everyday Sock, which is a 2570. 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And the stripes are the 31 Days of Myths by Dragon Horde Yarns, which was her Halloween one of her Halloween advents last year. And I love it. It's so beautiful. That wool is also, I think it's her Myth fingering base, which is also 75/25. I've got 12 stripes left. I'm so excited to get this one done. Like, this is one of the things I'm like, yeah, no, it's gonna get done this month. It has to get done this month. If it doesn't get done this month, I'm gonna be very upset. Okay. This one, also a Knit for Brains. This is like a spooky bag, but it's also like an everyday bag. And I love it because it's so pretty, but it's so spooky on top of that. So, look at that. Knit for Brains, not a sponsor yet. I don't know. So I'm calling this my slouchy troll hat. And I've actually already done quite a bit more than I had on Monday, because this is what I took to hospital with me. And I got it mostly done. I'm almost to the decreases. But this is what it is. I'm doing a sockhead slouch hat by Kelly McClure. I'm doing, I think it's the adult medium. It's got the 2x2 ribbing for about 4 inches. And then it's going to be about 8 inches of stockinette, and then the decreases. And let me put this so I can mark where I was when I showed this. Okay, so the wool is, yeah, got fiber in my mouth. Trilogy Yarns Plush, which is 80-10-10 superwash merino nylon cashmere in the colorway aquamarine. That's right there is what I've got left still. And then the other wool is Happy Mermaid Yarn Co., also an 80-10-10, and this is called Troll Hair. So I will mix dyers, I will not mix fiber. And if the fiber says it's the same but it feels texturally different, I won't mix it. That's just how I am. So the colorways, I had a buddy swap thingy. The Love and Stitches membership group had a accessory swap buddy thingy for last month, and the partner and I had to swap 2 50s. Well, I don't have 50s, so out of my stash I picked out 2 colors that I thought went brilliantly together, and I made 2 50s, which left me with 2 50s. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? And I'm like, let's do a hat. This is awesome. And so this is what I came up with. I love it. It's so pretty. And this one I am doing on a slightly smaller than called for. I believe the pattern calls for a 3mm needle. Oh my god. I think the pattern calls for a 3mm, and I am using a 2.75, just a wee bit smaller. I just wanted, again, to see if I like it, how it fits, what the gauge difference looks like. So this is what I'm calling my slouchy troll hat. And this is another one, like, I'm like, I am definitely finishing this. Okay. Now the next one. Nope, this one. Okay. Look at it. It's Gilmore. She gets me every time with her fabric. I swear, I'm always like, no, I don't need any more project bags. I have enough project bags. I can make my own project bags. Why am I still giving money to other people? Because you support small business. Because even if you can make something similar, you can't make the same thing. And because, look at this! Like, it's gorgeous. I love it. And it's got the Yale blue. Yeah. So, this is what I'm calling my slouchy fish head. Oh, I did not put those back. Excuse me while I control my ball bands. Okay, so I'm calling this one my fish head, my slouchy fish head. I am using Dye Mad yarns on the Chester sock, and the colorway is Pisces. I got this from the Yarn It and Haberdashery over in Columbus when we took that trip to see Pretty Reckless down in July. It is hand dyed in Ohio, so I'm not only supporting the local store, but I'm supporting a local dyer in my home state, which is super important to me. So I love this. It's such a cute little logo too. Like, that's adorable. All right. So, funny thing, obviously in a wool condom. This is the wool. And not only is it my colors, like, I love these colors, but when I bought it, I thought Lucy was a Pisces. 100%, I bought this with the intent to make Lucy something, and I thought Lucy was a Pisces, and she's not. She's an Aquarius. And I'm like, well, at least it's still great colors. And then I just discovered while I was recording on Thursday that my mom is a Pisces, and she loves the purple and blue together as well. So I think that this is going to be for her. Now, here it is. I'm still on the ribbing. Like I said, I had on the 15th, I wound up 6 skeins. I cast on a couple just so I could get them going. And I had the idea that, yeah, I'm going to knit 6 hats at Disney because I can do 5 inches a day. 5 to 6 inches a day. So my thing was I was going to try to have all of the brims and ribbing done before we left, and then each day work on a different hat. And then when I came home, I would just have to do the crown decreases, which would have been bloody genius. But packing and planning the trip took some time, and I didn't get all the brims done. And then when we got there, I was so busy that I didn't get my knitting done. It's fine. It's fine. That's the beautiful thing about knitting for myself and my family, is there's really no deadlines. So this is where we're at. We are, I think I counted 18 rounds in, and I think there's going to be 40 rounds for the 4-inch brim. This is another sock head slouch hat by Kelly McClure. And this one I am knitting 2 pattern with 3mm Chalgu red lace needles. Okay. That one's pretty simple. Not much there. All right. Oh, no, I have to show those still. Okay. Okay, so the next one, I actually did not put anything on this, but it's on my to finish list, so I am going to show what it is. This is the Dumbledore's Army sock. This was a test knit for Lolo Did It back in July. I did finish the test knit. I finished it on time. And look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. I love that little elder wand nod in this lace motif here. This was a fun little, like, almost smocking type stitch right here. It was so fun. Really great pattern. It makes use of the teardrop, water drop, teardrop, whatever it's called. I'd seen this in a few different patterns, but it carries the knit one, slip one ribbing type thing into the actual foot, and it gives more of a cushioned and supported base throughout the like actual heel, and in that it provides more durability to the heel. So this is a fantastic idea. I absolutely love that. I finished the test knit. I finished it on time, and then I went to the basement to show my husband, and I'm like, it's done. He goes, you did a whole pair? Because he knew I was still on the first sock when he had asked me about it the day before. I'm like, no, I finished the sock. It doesn't fit me. I'm not going to do the second one. He goes, will it fit me? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you want them? I didn't think you would want these colors. These colors are kind of not really too much your style. And he goes, I like it. It's cute. I'm like, oh, okay. So he tried it on, and guys, it fit like a glove. So I think I may have actually figured out a better sock recipe for him. I will probably do a pair of socks for him in a little bit, using what I am now thinking would be good for him. But it fit him. He asked for it. So now I've got the second one to do. And I think what I'm going to try to do, I don't go back to work until Friday, because I only work 2 days a week, and Monday is a holiday. So I don't go back to work until Friday. So I think Monday I'm probably going to try to start getting this specific item finished. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a portion of it each day. I'm going to do like the leg one day, the heel flap gusset and heel flap and gusset the next day, and then the foot the next day, and then the toe. And it'll take 4 days. It's just a little bit of a sock each day. It should not take me that long to do each section in a day, and then it will be done. And he will have a pair of socks for you all. So the colorways, I am using up some leftovers from my Love Beyond Time shawl that I test knit for Lolo Did It back in like May or maybe June. I don't, it was May because it was around my brother's birthday. This is Fraser's Ridge, and this is Forget Me Nots. These are both the Outlander Club colorways, and I'm just trying to use as much of that as I can. My goal is, like, for test knits and stuff, I'm trying to use leftovers and try to like clear some of my stash. So alright, and once again, it is in a Knit for Brains bag. I swear I'm not sponsored. I really should be. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Look at Jessie and Logan and Richard. Oh, and Lane. I love this. This is like such a good fabric, and it's got my hair and my cat's hair all over it, because when you live with a zoo, there is hair everywhere. Yeah. Okay, and then this Knit for Brains, my Warpy bag. And this is not my wool condom. I got this from the shop. I kind of just like, okay, I can make something like that. So I bought one to like kind of like deconstruct it and then went from there. But look at the little penguin. It's a really, really cute one. Like, it's got little sandies on it. The colorway is Practical Magic from Trilogy Yarns. It is so cute. And this hat, it doesn't look like much, but I swear it really is. So I had started and restarted and restarted and restarted a top-down crochet slouch hat. And I had gotten to the point where I was mostly done with the increases. But then I'm like, I really don't like this. And so I switched, I ripped it out. I tried to do it in the main color for the whole thing. And I just did not like that and how that was going. And so I finally just pulled back. I stole some of my coal miner's daughter from my honeycomb shawl because I knew I wasn't going to use all of that. And I like this. I had intended this to be for me, and when I was doing my chain and I put it around my head, it fit my head just fine. But once I got the ribbing done, it no longer fit me, so this is now for Lilith, which is fine because she loves my spooky socks, so she's gonna love having a spooky hat. This is a spooky crochet slouch hat. Oh yeah, look at that. It's so pretty. I love it. Not a whole lot to say about this. I may or may not write up the pattern. Who knows? Okay. Last two whips. I've got two. This is in a bag that I made years and years ago. This was my first attempt at a project bag. I love it, but it needs work. And I hate the zipper. This zipper has ruined a couple of things already. So what I might do is I might take out the zipper, put in a drawstring, and call it a day, because then I think it'll be a much better bag for what I would use it for, honestly. But I am still using it because I needed a bigger bag. I love it though. I think I have more of this fabric. I don't know if I can get any more, but I might make some like sock sacks with this. All right. In this, I am using the Kelburn Woolens Scout base. I am using Scarlet Heather. Oops. Charcoal Heather. And Ocean Heather. Look how cute these are. Really great together. Like, that's great. It's so cute. And I am doing, this is a test knit for Lopsided Crafter. I think she's calling it Strange Things, or Things Are Strange, or something like that. And I'm not a colorwork artist, so I signed up for this strictly to help my colorwork skills grow. Okay, so I hope it's fine. I intend this to be a gift knit for somebody, one of the children in the family for Yule this year. They love Stranger Things, and that is what inspired this. And there's a little bit of puckering. I know that. I think it's gonna block out just fine. But I love it. It's got the corrugated ribbing here. It's got some trees. It's got this little thing here. And that's just so cute. So, yeah. I'm not talking too much about that one because I don't want to give anything away as the pattern has not come out yet. But it is such a good pattern. It's a great chart. It's a good pattern. I'm so thrilled to be a part of the testnet. It's really helping me expand some skill. Alright, last whip. And this is just a Joann's Life is Sweet bag. I love watermelon. So, alright, I am using the Mandala bonus bundle in this beautiful rainbow color. Look at this pink, guys. I think this pink is why she picked it. So I've had some issues with Lilith and not wanting to sleep in her own room. And she tried to play it off as she's scared, but I know she just wants to sleep with mommy. And I'm like, so what if mommy made you another blanket? Would you sleep in your room with a new blanket? She goes, yeah. And so I told her I'd make her a new blanket. And when we went to Joann's, she picked out this wool. I got 3 cakes just to be on the safe side. I think I'm using a 4mm. I like to go a little bit smaller than what the wool calls for, just because when you have I'm using a filet crochet pattern, and sometimes when you do that it can get too holey. So I think I went down to a 4 or maybe a 4.5mm. I don't remember. I'm gonna pick up and keep going, and if I'm wrong and it just doesn't match and gauge to what I've already got, I've only got like 1, 2, 3, I've only got 4 rows. So if I rip back and start over and do a better job of taking note of what hook I'm using, then so be it. If I can grab the hook that I have downstairs and keep going, and that's the right hook, then yay. I'm not too worried about it. But I am using the I did measure, and I'm doing it as a twin size, so it's a pretty big blanket for her big girl bed. And I'm using the Amore pattern by I Will Be Hooked. And I've already used that pattern several times before. I love that pattern. It's so amazing. But I want the stripes to be a feature and the hearts to be a feature. So what I'm doing is I haven't decided if I'm doing 12 or 15, but I'm going to do a section of straight double crochet, and then a section of the hearts, and then a section of double crochet, and then a section of the hearts. And I'm going to alternate in that manner throughout the pattern to make sure the striping of the wool is a feature, as well as the striping, as well as the fillet and the hearts. So that is what this is. Okay, so that is the end of my little whip parade. My 2-week premonitions. I'm thinking I'm gonna finish the slouchy troll hat. I am definitely gonna be finishing the Sparkle Burra. I should have the Dumbledore socks finished. That would be pretty easy to get done. I mean, it's just now Saturday. I could finish this Saturday, finish this Sunday, do a section of this each day, Monday through Thursday, and have all 3 of those done, no problem. I've only got 12 stripes, so I should have this finished in the next couple weeks. Even if I only did 1 stripe a day, that would be doable. And I'm about halfway done with this already, which is the Stranger Things cowl. I think I should be able to have this done in the next couple weeks. So, those are my premonitions and what I would like to get done. Yeah, so if I get done with those 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll leave me with 4 whips to work on throughout the rest of the month. And then it won't look too bad when I cast on the 3 other things. Now, this one is these are both going to be Ross hats. 2 of these 2 are both going to be Ross hats, and these are going to be one on the called for needle, one on a needle just slightly smaller, so that again I can figure out what my preference actually is. This first one I'm calling Trolling Ross, and it is Happy Mermaid Yarn Co. in the 7525 Superwash Merino Nylon. It is also called Troll Hair. Yes, I love the wool so much. I bought it several times in several different bases. In this one, the yellow doesn't read as much. It's mostly a green. And I really, really like that. So, this is going to be a hat I'm hoping to get cast on around the 15th. Boop. And then this is, I lost the ball band, but this is Conversation Hearts from Hypnotic Yarns. And this one is definitely going to be for my mom. And this is going to be Candy for Ross, is what I'm going to call this one. It's so cute. It's got like, you can't really see it right now because it's all wound up, but there's like these really yummy pink specks in here, but the base itself is like lavender and like a mint, very, very, very light minty blue type color. So these are going to be 2 of my cast-ons. And my third cast-on, this was going to be casted on early last month, but somehow I lost the needle. And of course, I finally reordered another needle like 4 days ago, and no, it was more than 4 days ago because the needle came today. I don't know. I ordered a needle about a week ago. And then I found the needle that I originally lost. So, I've been trying to figure out a new sock recipe for myself because apparently my non-pregnant feet are just a lot smaller than my pregnant feet, and I still wear the socks that I had previously made for myself. I just wear them to bed, which is great because I love socks at night. I know that's a huge like controversy for some people, socks or no socks when you go to bed, but my toes freeze all the time. It's part of one of my medical conditions. So unless I'm like sitting out in the sun, I almost always have socks on. And I'm not gonna, lift my feet because I have a dress on, but I am actually wearing some hand knits right now. I'm wearing my Je Suis Play socks, my Je Suis Play shorties, because I actually got 2 pairs with the Je Suis Play socks. But I'm wearing my Je Suis Play shorties, which were the first month of the Outlander Club. So, all right. This is called Lotus Flower. This is 7525 from Happy Mermaid Yarn Co. This was the first skein that I bought from them, and I made a pair of mermaid socks with this. And it's delicious, and I love it. And this is going to be my contrast. This is Nitpick Stroll in Wonderland Heather. Also a 7525. So these are going to be my colors. I am going to be knitting on a US 0 2mm needle. I started on a 2.5mm needle And now that I'm not pregnant, those are just way too big. And then I went to a 2.25 millimeter needle, and those are better, but they're still too big. So I'm hoping that going to a 0, which is a 2 millimeter, will finally be what I need. I don't know. I might also start playing with like my stitch count. I really don't want to, because many patterns are written for a 64 count, and I don't really want to deviate from that, but if I have to, then I will. Excuse me. All right, so repository in my bag that I got from Fat Quarter Shop. Now, you've probably seen most of these from other people because you haven't seen me in more than a month now, and I'm so sorry about that. But I got my Yarnable. Look at that. So the only person I know that likes yellow is my mother's mother, my grandmother. So I have a feeling I'm probably going to be doing something with this for her. She lives in California, in Southern California, where it's like 70 year-round. So I don't think she needs a musselburgh. But she could possibly use like a slouch head sock, a sock head slouch hat, or maybe a pair of socks or something. And I remembered when I lived with them many moons ago, she had similar size feet to me, so I might, once I figure out my sock recipe, I might be able to duplicate that and just make it a little bit smaller for her. That might be something to do. Number 2 and 3 is my Sock Yarn Society. Like, how gorgeous that is. And so I got it and I opened it and I'm going through it, and Lilith says, "That's so beautiful." I'm like, "Yeah, it really is. I really like it. Do you like it?" She goes, "Yeah. Is that for me?" You little wool thief. So I got a second one. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. So I think I'm gonna make something Mama and me matching for her and I to share. I might be able to make something for all 3 of us for matchy. I don't know yet, but I love it. And I'm really upset because when I reached out to Lori and I asked her, I'm like, "Do you have any extras? My daughter's kind of upset that this isn't for her." And she's like, "Yeah, I can get you more." And we talked a bit, and we decided to send me the whole kit, and I got it. It's great. I love it. This isn't an existing colorway that I can just buy more of. I'm like, but I need more contrast. 20 grams is not enough. So I don't know what I'm gonna do because I can't get more of this. So, all right. Technically number 3. We'll call it number 4 because I'll count that as 2, whatever. This is the Lolo Did It. God, that's really blown out. Okay, that's a little better. Is that okay? Whatever. I gotta fix my lighting a little. I love the lighting. The color return is great, but it is like when I do a single skein, especially the ones with the white, it's blowing them out a little. But this is the Lolo Did It month 4 Star Wars Club. I was right. I knew it was going to be green. I thought it would be green for Endor. That just made sense to me. But I'm in love because it's Grogu. I love Baby Yoda. I refuse to call him Grogu. I'm fine with other people who do. That whatever. But he's Baby Yoda. My 4-year-old knows him as Baby Yoda. If I say Grogu, she goes, "What's Grogu?" So this one is going to be the 4th musselburgh in that series, which is great, and I'm going to be so stupidly selfish and keep it because It's for me. Okay, now the other one that I have, this is my Love and Stitches Buddy Swap. This is what I received. And excuse me a second, because my daughter was clearly playing with wool. My little wool thief, she really is. I love it. I can't wait for her to start knitting so that it's a little less like, oh, you're stealing my wool, and more like, oh, what are you making? But okay, this isn't happening. It is a Mandy's Making Share a Pair. It is one of the oak colorways. I don't think she actually ever released it as a Share a Pair colorway. Oh, look at it. So pretty. I think this may have been the one that ended up being called Tea Time or something, and this may have been like one of the test skeins or something. But it's so pretty. I love this. This is definitely more of a muted blue than what I usually would go for, but with this mauvey purpley color, it's so gorgeous. Lilith tried to claim the purple, pink, purple, whatever color you want to call it. It's like a mauvey color. She definitely claimed this. So if I make something, it has to be for her using these. Now, what I'm thinking is I might make her an ascot. Is that how you say it? I might make her an ascot with these wools, and I might like stripe them because I think that would be so cute. I was watching a podcaster the other day. I think she's in Australia, and she was talking about how there's a bunch of girls getting ready. I don't know if they're all girls. There's a bunch of people, knitters, makers, who are getting ready to meet up at Rhinebeck in a couple months, and they wanted to do something easy that everybody could participate in, and not everybody can make a sweater, which is fine. So they decided to do an ascot, and they have a hashtag going on Instagram of like, how do you ascot or something like that. And so this podcaster in Australia is like, well, I wanted to play along, so she made one. I'm like, oh my god, that is so cute. And so I'm like, maybe I will make a striped one for Lily. I don't know. Okay, moving right along. That I do have one more acquisition, but you've pretty much already seen it because, oh no, you haven't. Okay, I'm gonna go get it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I forgot that you haven't seen this because I never uploaded the last episode because I forgot my iPad and I couldn't do it from across the country. So I'm going to show a few extra stairs suck, guys. I'm going to show a few extra acquisitions. These are a little bit from like the beginning of the month of August. This was my birthday present to one of my birthday presents to myself. So you already saw this one, and you already saw this one. These are acquisitions as well. And with that, I got this wire-framed bag. No need to ask, these are definitely all knit for brains. I got the wire-framed bag and the medium bag in this pattern. I got the wire-framed bag, the medium bag, and the small bag in this pattern. And then, oh my god, I was going to Disney. I had planned to just put everything in these, and then I just didn't do it because I forgot and I'm a horrible person. But look at these spooky Halloween Mickey treats. Oh my god. So I got the wireframe bag, the the medium bag, and that's all she had. And then I reached out and I'm like, hey, you think you could maybe like make another one of the small ones? She goes, let me go see if there's any more fabric, because I'm out of the fabric I had previously bought. And about an hour later, she's like, you're in luck. They had the fabric. So she custom made me a sock size bag. for this. Ooh, that's tight. Was that? Huh. I don't know why that feels tight, but okay. Anyway, so I got the 3 set of this too. I love this. This is perfect. I'm gonna use this like all spooky season. In fact, I'm gonna probably reload most of my things into like these new bags so that I'm using these new bags. So yeah. But yeah, so these are the acquisitions. This is the one that came in the post and it was downstairs. I'm like, oh, you've already seen most of it because you had already seen these, but you hadn't, because the lost episode is the lost episode. So I think that's everything as far as the knitting content. I've got a little Paw Patrol cat thingy here from my daughter because she's 4 and stickers are her jam. Alright, so, oh, the knitting journal. Let's start with my August stuff. I didn't do much. I finished 1 whip. That's it. I finished 1 whip. And I made a couple bags. I put those in there just so I'd feel better about myself. Let's be honest. That's why I did it. Because this is a knitting journal, knitting, crochet, cross stitch journal. It's not a sewing journal. And so I put those sewn projects in there just so I'd feel a little bit better about myself. This is my current list of my current whips. There's a lot of them. I'm going to get most of these done in the next couple weeks. They're almost there, mostly. And then the couple things I want to cast on, and a bunch of room for my finished objects this month. I am not doing my typical planet just because there's too much. There's too much. I'll keep a notepad and figure out what I want to do. Then going over here, I updated my whips list. These were the ongoing whips when I started the planner. And I noted that I finished this one, and then I scribbled this one out because I had listed it twice. And I've got some dream knits here that I want to get done. And I got my table of contents. And I have a little device, I think it's the HP Sprocket. I've got one of those, and I'm going to take some pictures and put them in here. But this is my page for my honeycomb shawl. And then 2 of my muscle burras. And I put these 2 like right next to each other so that way I could see take the notes and comparisons and have the pictures right next to each other of what I liked and what. And then the same thing that I'm doing with the sock head slouch hats. And then I've got the Dumbledore socks and the crochet spooky hat. And then the Stranger Things and the Rainbow Hearts blanket. And then I've got a couple other whips I haven't worked on really, so I put them in here, and those will be my focuses once I finish up some of these other whips. But other than that, it's a pretty blank journal. I love blank journals. I have this phobia of writing in a journal because I don't want to ruin it. How silly is that? What is this? Oh! Look at this. Okay, so Knit for Brains, when you order, she puts a business card in there. Okay, Knit for Brains, when you order from her, she puts a business card in there. And on the business card, there's always a little stitch marker, progress keeper. It was sheep for a little bit. And then there was another one I got that was something else. But look at this one. It's a little, I think it's a hummingbird. Look at that. It's so cute. I think that's supposed to be a hummingbird. But, you know, my twisted young adult book brain went to mockingjays. So, could be a mockingjay. I don't know. Alright, so let's do a little bit of life. Because I'm only at 135. Okay, dance is starting next week. It is, so Monday she'll have off because of the holiday. So she starts dance career with a day off. Woo! But so Thursday I have to take her, and then starting the following, like, she'll go twice a week. So that's gonna be fantastic. I have 6 weeks left until I am officially part-time with my company. I am hoping in those 6 weeks to be making up at least half of my income with the shop. I really got to get going. Oh, Lord. That's scary to think about, and that I only have 6 weeks left. But, I mean, I have a backup. I just need that backup to start working. And I know that's a me issue. I got to actually get more stuff there and work on my photography. But anybody who wants to help support me along the way, 3stitchesshort.com. I'm gonna release the first few things of my series like there, and then I might start doing clubs. I don't know. All of the birthdays, me, my husband, my 4-year-old, a niece, a nephew, a sister-in-law. Like, there were a lot of birthdays in August, so that was super fun. Lucinda is 6 months old. How did that happen? Oh my gosh. She's 6 months old. Adjusted, she's 5 months old. She was only about a month early. It's fine. Health-wise, she's picture perfect. Weight-wise, she's small, but she's growing on her own chart, so it's fine. Developmentally, I feel like she's on par for a lot of the fine motor skills. She reaches for things if you've got them. She'll take her binky in and out of her mouth. She'll pass it between her hands. She looks when she's called. Like, she recognizes my voice and my husband's voice and her sister's voice. All of the mental developmental is perfect. All of her fine motor skills are great. I think her gross motor skills, which would be like sitting up on her own, that I think is a little delayed just because she's not as old as they say she is because of when her birthday is. So she's perfect. All in all, in conclusion, my child is perfect. We went to Disney. While we were there, my husband and I got away for a day and went to Universal by ourselves and went to Harry Potter World. I loved it. It was great. Oh my god. So I didn't get one wand. I got 4. I have a problem. I got my robes. I'm the Hufflepuff. I don't know if you've known this. I know I like blue. I really do like blue quite a bit. But I am a Hufflepuff. It has to do with the animals and the food for some reason. And, you know, if you mess with us, I go crazy, so. I got my robes. And I got a tie. My robes have my name on them. They're embroidered in. I love it. I got my tie. My husband got a frozen butterbeer. I did try it, but I knew I probably wouldn't like it because I don't like butterscotch. And I was right, so I had a lemon squash instead. One of the days we went to Epcot, and while we were in Epcot, I went to the UK area. My husband and his family had this reservation for a seafood restaurant. I can't do seafood, so to avoid an allergy attack altogether, I just said, okay, you guys go. It's the Food and Wine Festival. I'm gonna go get some food. I ended up having French braised ribs with a Cabernet sauce, I think it was. It was delicious. And then I had a tarte aux fraises for desserts, which is a strawberry tart. So delicious. Oh my god. The French can cook. Now I'm hungry. I also got some macarons in like the little French area, and then I walked a little bit farther over to the UK area, and I went into this shop, and the guy who was there started speaking to me, and I have no idea what he said. Something about Liverpool. And he had the most beautiful accent, and you guys know how Americans are. We're like, accent, hi, hey. So I'm like, say anything else. Just say anything else. And he starts talking to me about these handmade leather bags that his family makes, and there's like 10 employees total, and they use byproduct sourced leather, so it is ethically sourced. They're not unaliving these cows just for the hides. They are byproduct. And so he starts talking to me, and the whole time he's talking to me, this beautiful baby blue bag is just staring at me. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to show you this bag. And he tells me about how the bags are handmade and hand stitched, and how this company is actually the company that made all of the bags that were used in the Harry Potter films. And that got me. I'm like, you have a beautiful accent. You're from my favorite country. And like, you made the bags in Harry Potter? Sold. And then he put the monogram, he was doing free monogramming for people who purchased in store that day. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. He goes, what are your initials? I'm like, MR. And he goes, Mr. I'm like, I don't want that. He goes, have you got a middle name? I'm like, MMR. That's a vaccine. I don't want that either. I dropped my pen because I fiddle and fidget. So then he's trying to think what he could put on the back. I'm like, can you just do my first name? It's only 3 letters. He goes, I can do that. And he's like, what is your first name? I'm like, May. And he goes, M-A-Y, like the month. I'm like, no, M-A-E. He goes, oh, the British spelling. I'm like, yes. And so I have a wonderfully hand-stitched, ethically sourced leather satchel made by the same people who made Harry Potter's bags. I am in love. I cannot say enough about that. And he was so fabulous. So yeah, that is kind of the highlight of my Disney trip. Obviously, like, Lilith had a blast. She met Elsa and Anna and Olaf and Tiana, and she met, oh my god, Tiana was a hoot. She loves Tiana. Tiana, like, it was the last day, and she met Tiana, and Tiana finally got her to break out of her shell, and they're dancing together. Oh my god, it was just amazing. But she met Tiana and Rapunzel. She met Cinderella and Elena of Avalor. She met Elsa and Anna. And she met Olaf. I tried so hard to get her to meet Snow White, who was in the German area at Epcot, but I think she had already, like, taken off with the family for the meal. And then when I went to the UK, I saw Alice and Mary Poppins, and I'm like, oh, that would have been so cool. But she was eating with my husband. Thankfully, she does not have my seafood allergies. and my husband took the baby because we fully believe in exposing our children to high allergens early on in controlled settings. Because studies show that if they're introduced to them early, there's less likelihood to develop allergies. My mom listened to the doctors, and I wasn't introduced to several things until I was 2 years old. And I have a lot of allergies. I wasn't introduced to seafood until I was in my teens, and I have allergies. So we are doing everything we can, like introduce them young. If I can't be there, that's fine. One parent will be there. And we will get them introduced to everything pretty young so their body doesn't react to it. Lucy had peanut butter for the first time. She absolutely loved it. Like, now if she sees her binky, sometimes, like, if I'm having peanut butter toast, I will, like, dip her binky in my peanut butter and just put it in her mouth. She absolutely loves it. She loves peanut butter so much. So there's that. Moving on to watching, we binge watched WandaVision. Oh my god, it was good. I cannot believe that. That show is great. We watched the whole thing of WandaVision. I am still watching The Good Wife. Now, I know a little bit of what happens because Facebook and spoilers, and I hate it. But the series is over, so if you're going to complain about spoilers, sorry, move on. I am at the point where Carrie is starting to try to get clients to leave Gardner. What's the other one? They're trying to leave the firm, and it started about the promotions, and Carrie is, like, trying to get some clients. Right now, I think it's just Carrie. I don't think Alicia is with Carrie. I don't think Alicia knows much. I mean, we obviously know that Alicia and Carrie start Floric Agos and Associates, and they work out of her apartment for a bit. But I don't know where in this scheme does Carrie officially recruit Alicia for this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's quite scandalous. And Will kissed her again. Will! Ooh! I love Will. I totally think Alicia and Will would be good for each other. And I'm sorry, I would never stay with a cheater. So I have a bias against Peter. But yeah. Okay. And then finally, I've just been watching my podcast. I love that. So, all right. Reading. I actually do have some reading to share. Yay. It's still in my app thingies on my phone because that's the easiest thing for me to read. But reading is reading. It doesn't matter what you're reading or where you're reading it from, in my opinion. So on Good Novel, I've been reading Pregnant and Rejected by My Alpha Mate. It's a good story. It's interesting. So when I first started reading from these apps, it was like smut, 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 smut. And it's not. Like, a lot of the books that it's been recommending to me, like, they're still in the werewolf theme. I absolutely love werewolf romance stories. Like, that is 100% all day, every day. But they're not as graphic and intense as some of the earlier ones I'd been reading. So this one I definitely like. You can tell that this person actually has an editor because there's very few inconsistencies or, like, grammar or spelling or other issues with it. Like, so you can tell that this writer has an editor. Divorced Billionaire Heiress is another one I've been reading. A lot of these are ongoing, so I read a few chapters and then I'll move on to something else. And my ADD brain, I can definitely handle going from one to another, and then when I go back to be like, oh yeah, that's where I am. It takes like half a minute, but I get there. And then on the Dream app, I've been reading Alpha Maximus. which is, it's called Alpha Maximus the Last Lycan. It's a short one. The story itself is actually short, and like within the same title there's like a second book, so I'm on like the sequel, but it hasn't like distinguished that. So I don't know if like more about the main characters from the first are going to like make an appearance. So the first one is about how the couple gets together and their obstacles, and it's them getting together. And then the second one is like years in the future, and it's about their kids, and specifically their daughter, who does not have a wolf, which a lot of these stories deal with that base conflict of something has happened to this werewolf and her wolf has died, or her wolf has retreated. Most of these are written in the female perspective. But something has happened where the wolf has died, or the wolf has retreated, or a lot of different things. Sometimes they're just not born with a wolf to their knowledge. Sometimes the wolf remains dormant longer than for other people. So something is going on with this daughter, who is apparently wolfless. Her mother is half witch, so they're like, okay, you don't have a wolf, maybe you're taking after the witch half of the family. But she can't seemingly do magic either, and so she's seemingly human. However, there's this kid in her class who's like a year older than her, I think, and they can feel the mate bond, and they're not even of age. So, or they think they feel the mate bond, and everybody is so sure that these two are going to be mates. We'll see what happens. I'm actually kind of really invested in that one, because it's like, if she doesn't have a wolf and she can't do magic, how is she feeling the mate bond? Because while a species, in most of these, they all seem to fall, even though they're all different writers and they're all different lores, like in most of them, a wolf can be mated to a different species, be a vampire, witch, human, whatever. Vampires and werewolves feel the mate call most potently. Witches feel it, but sometimes not as strongly. And then humans can they just feel strong attraction. They don't know what it is or why it is the way it is. So I'm like, okay, if she's seemingly human, why can she feel the mate call? Or is it not a mate call and something else is about to happen? I don't know. And that's why I'm like kind of really... These stories are definitely amateur level writing. Don't get me wrong. But they are still really good stories. Next time you're scrolling Facebook, if you see one of those apps, there's like web novel, good novel, dream, there's a whole bunch of them. And a lot of the times the authors will put them on multiple platforms. But if you read one of those, give it a chance. Know that what you see on the Facebook, they give you usually like a couple of chapters. And what you read there is pretty edited, especially if the story is strongly sexual in nature. They will edit the crap out of that to make it okay for Facebook. But if that intrigues you at all, give those apps a try. Like, they're good. They're amateur level writing, but they are good stories. So, I mean, not everybody is Anne Rice and spending 10 pages to describe curtains, okay? Alright, so in this moment, upcoming stuff, in this moment is coming, I think, September 21st. I have to double check. But in this moment is coming here to Cleveland, so I can like literally Uber there and Uber back. And it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. That will be my trifecta. So I saw Pretty Reckless in July. I saw Hailstorm in, was it technically August? I think it was technically August. No. Yes, it had to have been. Because I didn't do 2 concerts in a month. Yeah, it was early August. So I did Pretty Reckless in mid-July. I did Hailstorm in early August. And then in September, In This Moment is coming. And I'm like, yay! Now, that one I'm going to alone. And what I might do is I might have my husband drive me and drop me off. Just because going alone with an Uber scares me. I read too many horror stories. I read too many stories about Uber drivers or fake Uber drivers or yeah. So I might have, it's only like 15-20 minutes from here. So I might have my husband like take me and pick me up. We don't live too far. Even though he's working, he can get away for a little bit to come get me. Rhinebeck. Yay! I'm so excited. The 14th, the 14th through the 16th of October, I will be at Rhinebeck. Yay! And then the 21st through 24th of October, my family goes yearly to Great Wolf Lodge for my mother-in-law's birthday. So that is what I have coming up. Of course, I planned everybody's trip to Great Wolf Lodge, but that was pretty simple, honestly. It was 4 families, like, it's not that big of a deal. That was pretty easy. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It was still 13 people, maybe 14. I just found out that somebody might be having a grandkid extra come, but it was still 13 people, but 13 people for a weekend to one location where I don't have to plan meals, I don't have to plan like anything, and we can just go, and when we're there we can decide what we want to do. That is so much easier than 14 people with 2 airports and a hotel for a week with 3 different parks, and oh my god, Disney was crazy. I will never be voluntold to do that again. Thank goodness. And when I go next time, it's just me and my kids. So, well, and my husband, obviously. So that is it. It's a longer episode because it's been a month. I'm so sorry about that. Like I said, the last episode, it just went away. It never got posted because I forgot my iPad at home. And then I had this all recorded on the 1st, and then medical emergency halfway through recording. I did struggle bust my way through, and I finished recording, but I'm like, I can't post that. I have like this thing on my face. It was gross. So, I'm better. Everything's fine. We're all good. And that is the end of the episode. If you've made it this far, wow, thank you so much. Comment, like, subscribe, share if you know anyone who might enjoy this as well. And don't forget 3stitchesshort.com. I gotta figure out a jingle. 3stitchesshort.com. Oh, I don't know. Alright, bye!